A very good morning, gentlemen, and welcome to the last day in the European Men's Championships 2015. First step in the Masters event. I have a few practical informations. After half-time of the practice, we will be there to ask the highest seeded, the highest ranked, to decide left or right side. And please be ready, because we have many to take in. And if you're not ready, we will just let it stay as it is. Please pay attention that this is not match play style. You're just playing one by one, and do not play whole frames either. No whole frames, not match play. We need to get done today, gentlemen. Besides that, 10 minutes practice. Please stop practicing. Please remember, it's not match play and it's no whole frames. We are not ready yet. We are ready. Good luck to you.
Good morning, Europe, and welcome to the final day of this Men's European Championship. Today we are featuring the Masters. It's the top 24 players. In this first step we have the players ranking from number 9 till 24. Number 9 will participate against number 24, number 10 against number 23, and so on. It's a match over 3 series, max, best out of 3, 2 games won, and you are on to step 2. Today we are broadcasting on 2 channels. Channel 1 is featuring the lanes 5 through 12, and channel 2 is featuring lane 13 through 20. All of the broadcast today is in high definition. You can select the settings on the bottom of the screen and select the 720 pixels, which will be high definition. I hope we are going to see some great bowling today and some high scores. I'll just take you through the lanes. On lane number 5, we have Robert from Sweden, who finished 20th, was playing Ramon. Sorry. On lane 6 we have Ramon from the Netherlands, who finished 13th. On lane number 7 we have Romero from Romania, and on lane number 8 we have Nick Stampe from Denmark. Lane number 9 we have Adam from England. On lane number 10 we have Christophe from France. On lane number 11 we have Mykalo from the Ukraine, who's playing against Martin from Sweden on lane 12. That was channel 1. Moving on to channel 2, lane number 13, we have Tor from Norway, who's playing Mats from Norway, a Norwegian battle. On lane 15 we have Marcus from Sweden, who is taking on Magnus from Sweden. So lane 13, 14 we have Norway, and 15, 16 Sweden playing against each other. On lane 17 we have Daniel from Sweden, who's taking on Glenn from Norway. Lane 18. Lane number 19 we have Juhani from Finland, who is participating against Jesper from Denmark. I'll try to be as informative according to the scores. But we have 16 lanes playing simultaneously, so I'll try to do my best to keep you informed if there are any big scores developing and if there's any games that are looking to be tight games. Enjoy. The schedule for today is we started here at 9 o'clock. Is step 1. Step 2 will start at 10:15. When step 1 and step 2 has finished, there will be a medal ceremony for the team event yesterday. Then there will be a lane maintenance. And at 1300 hours, step 3 will start. At 2:15, step 4 will start. And 3:30, the final will be played. We are featuring the 16 lanes on 2 channels. When we move on to the quarterfinals, the semifinals and the finals, it will only be on 1 channel. It will be channel 1. Through 5 frames, it looks like Ramon on lane 5 and 6 is in the lead with approximately 10. Mick Stampe has put the pressure on Romero with a double, working on triple. Romero strike, spare, strike, spare. Mick has strike, spare, and double. That's on lane 7-8. On lane 9 and 10, we're struggling a bit. We have Adam, who started with 2 spares and 2 opens. And Christoph started with an open and 3 spares. On 11 and 12. We have Martin from Sweden, who started with an open frame and a four-bagger. And Mikalo on lane 11 has made a strike and four spares. That was the players featuring on channel 1. Moving on to channel 2. Tor on lane 13 has made an open and a double. And Mats on lane 14 started with a double, an open, a double and a spare. So Mats is currently in the lead by approximately 10 pins. On lane 15-16 with a sweet sub lane, we have Marcus, who started with an open frame, strike, open frame, a triple, and a spare. And Magnus started really strong, triple, a spare, and a four-bagger. So Marcus is currently in the lead by 40 pins. On lane 17 and 18, Daniel from Sweden started with a strike, an open, a spare, strike, and two spares. And Glenn from Norway started with two spares, a strike, an open, strike, and a spare. Juhani on lane 19 started strong with two spares, a triple and a spare. And Jesper is trying to keep up. He has two spares, a double, two spares, and left the seventh frame open. Each game is individual. I would say if you would win the first game with 70 pins, it doesn't matter that your opponent will win the next match with 80 pins. It's only one game. The first person to get two games will move on to step 2. So it looks like the most action is on lane 5 and 6, where the guys really are putting strikes together. And on lane 15-16, where Magnus really got off to a strong start. Magnus can strike out for 258. Magnus has 208 in the 8th frame, and Marcus can strike out for 204, so the first game goes to Magnus. He'll be in the lead, 1-0. On lane 19-20, we have Jesper trailing with 24 pins to Juhani, so he really needs to make a strong finish. Otherwise, he will also be trailing 1-0. Also, for your information, each game has to be decided cannot draw. If we have a tied game and the game is finished, there will be a roll-off in 9th, 10th frame. If the game still is even, we'll play the 9th and 10th frame again until the game has been decided. No draws in the games. All games has to be decided. On lane 13-14, Tor made a strike in the 10th frame, building on strike in the 9th, and Mats got a 9 spare, so Tor just needs 2 pins to get in the lead, 1-0. Magnus on lane 15-16, strike out for 258. Great start of the day. Looks like Martin on lane 11-12 is going to take the first game. He is currently on the lead with 59 pins. That's the game for Martin on lane 11-12. On lane 5 and 6. Robert needs 6 pins inside the game. Robert made a double in the 10th frame, so the game goes to Robert. On lane 7 and 8, Mick is currently in the lead. Romeo has a double, 6th and 7th frame, building on a triple. Got a solid 10 pin. So with spares for both guys, Romeo will be in the lead with 4 pins before the 9th and 10th frame. That could be interesting to watch. Lane 7-8 on channel 1. Adam and Christoph on lane 9 and 10. The game is decided. Romeo on lane 7 and 8 left an 8 frame open, so that will give Mick a lead of 8 pins with a strike in the 9th frame. On lane 19 and 20, Johani got the first game, 209 against 196 from Jesper. And lane 17-18, Glenn takes the first game, 199 against Daniel, who can strike out for 182. Back on lane 7 and 8. Romeo got a strike in the 9th frame. Mick left the 9 pin. So Romeo will be able to strike out for 216. Mick Stampe is able to strike out for 213. That's going to be a tight game. It's channel 1, lane 7 and 8. Back on lane 7 and 8. Romeo can almost close the game with another strike. If it doesn't, Mick has to get an extra strike in the 10th frame. Both guys started with strikes in the 1st frame of the 10th frame. Romeo left the 2-10 split. So Mick, a spare would give Mick 203. If Romeo gets one of the 2 remaining pins, it will also get 203. And we have our first roller. Mick left the 8 pin. Spare for Mick, 203. Spare for Romeo, 204. One of the 2 pins, 203. And if he misses completely, it's 202. Romeo finished at 203, spare for Mick, and also end the game at 203. We have our first roll-off, lane 7 and 8, Mick Stampe and Romeo from Romania. That's on channel 1. The game has decided. We are even after frame 9 or 10. We play another roll-off until the game is decided. Let's just take a quick look at the other lanes. We'll get back to the roll-off on lane 7 and 8. We have Johanni on lane 1920, started with a 4-bagger. Jesper started with a double, a spare and a double. Daniel on lane 17-18, playing against Glenn. Has strike, spare, strike for Daniel. Strike, spare, spare for Glenn. Nothing quite happening there. Marcus and Magnus from Sweden, 15-16, struggling a bit. Have Mats on lane 13-14, started with a 5-bagger and a 9. And Thor started with strike, 2 spare, strike, spare, strike. So currently Mats is leading by 40 pins. Lane 9 through 12 has just begun. Both are in the second frame.
That'd be cool.
The roll-off for the Masters is only 1 stroke. Highest numbers in 1 stroke will take the game, not the 9 and 10th frame as I said it would be. And Romeo made a 7 and Mick made a 9, so Mick is in the front, 1-0. On lane 5 and 6 we have Roberts starting out with a strike, a spare and a double, working on the triple now. And Romeo from the Netherlands has 2 spares, a strike and an open. So currently Robert is in the lead by 20 pins. And he succeeds and gets his 3rd strike. So that would really put the pressure on Roman from the Netherlands. Thor and Mats on lane 13-14. Mats had a double, working on triple, didn't make it. Left the 3-6-10, and Mats is currently in the lead at 34 pins. Lane 19 and 20, there's some action. We had Juhani who started with a 4-bagger, a spare, and then got an open in the 6th frame. Jesper had a double, a spare, and a triple. And left the 10 pin in the 7th frame. So Jesper is currently in the lead by 10 pins. And Juhani left a big split in the 7th frame. He'll probably leave another open frame. So that will mean that Jesper is going to be in the lead by 21 pins after the 7th frame. That's lane 19-20 on channel 2. That's where the action is right now. On lane 13-14, Mats take the second game. Mats also got the first game, so step 1 will be the end for Thor. Thor can strike out for 191, and Mats already has 196 in the 8th frame. So we have our first competitor on to step 2. That's Mats Sandbergen from Norway. Martin from Sweden on lane 11-12. It's gotten off to a good start. Great start actually. A double, a spare, and a double. And Mykalo from the Ukraine has spare and 4 open frame. It looks like Martin is moving on to step 2. That was the triple. So Martin is currently in the lead by 70-80 pence. Back on lane 7 and 8. Both guys really got off to a good start. Romeo had a spare and a double, and Nick Stambe opened with a triple. On lane 5 and 6, which is also on channel 1, we have Robert from Sweden opening with a spare, strike, and a 6-bagger against Armand from Holland, who has 1 open frame and no doubles. So Robert is in the lead by 60, approximately 60. Leaves the 7-pin and the 8 frame. And Robert needs a 7 to seal the deal and move on to step 2. Watch lane 7-8, that's where the action is. A 9 on the triple, 9 spare triple for Romeo. Nick Stambe, it's a 4-bagger. So that's really going to be interesting to watch what happens in the second game. Lane 19-20. Jesper has the possibility to strike out for 244. Johanni 198. So the second game will go to Jesper. Where Apple 1-1. Glenn on lane 17-18 is playing Daniel, struggling a bit. The second game looks like it'll also be tied 1-1. back to lane 7 and 8. Stampe opened with a 5-bagger, now 9. It's left the 6-pin. And Romeo started with a spare, a triple, and a spare, and left the 4-9 split in the 6th frame. So that would give Mick the lead by approximately 30 pins as we convert the split. He didn't, so 30 pin lead. In lane 9-10, it looks like Christophe from France is moving on to step 2. Has a 5-bagger building on the 6th and the 9th frame, and is currently in the lead by more than 50 pins. Adam only has a spare in the 8th frame, so Adam can for 199. So Christoph needs 7 pins, 8 pins, and the game will be finished. Christoph got a 7. Needs 1 of the 3 remaining pins, and the game will be over. Nick Stampe in the lead by 32 pins, leading 1 game to nothing. Robert from Sweden, we're playing Ramon from the Netherlands, finished up 244 against 191. And Robert will proceed to the second step, winning the match 2-0. Back on lane 13-14, we have Thor against Mats, both players from Norway. Thor got off to 3 spare and a double start. Mats struggling a bit, has spare, a double, and 2 opens. On lane 15-16, there's also some action. The game is 1-all. And Marcos started with a 4-bagger, 9 spare and a strike. And Magnus has spare, strike, spare, triple. And on 8, left 3, 2, 4. Lane 1920, the final game. Johanny opened with spare and open. And Jesper put some pressure on with a spare and a double, working on a triple. Lane 17-18. Daniel from Sweden against Glenn from Norway. Daniel opened strong with a triple. And Glenn is open with 2 spares and a strike. So it really looks like there are some scores that are developing. Back on the action on lane 7 and 8. Both players has a strike in 8th and 9th frame. And Mick Stampe is currently in the lead by 22 pins, so a strike would seal the deal. Unfortunately, Mick left the 4-10 split. One of the pins, he will get 234. Romeo can strike 246. Needs at least the 2 first strikes in the 10th frame. Otherwise, Mick is through to the 2nd step. Got the first strike. Romeo on lane 7 needs a strike. Didn't get it. And Mick is through to the 2nd step. Oh, sorry. Mick needs 1 pin. With a spare for Romeo, the game will end 233 against 234. Back to lane 13-14. Tor is really putting the pressure on Mats. Mats can strike out for 183. Mats will go through to step 2, striking out for 225. (15-16) with Marcos in the lead by 13 pins. Both guys has a strike in the 8th frame. So there's the action. Channel 2. Lane 15-16. Also on lane 17-18. Daniel open up with a 5-bagger. Really putting the pressure on Glenn. Currently in the lead by 30 pins. Lane 19-20. We have Johanny against Jesper. And Jesper made his spare in the 6th frame. Johanny can convert strike in the 7th frame. He'll be leading by 1 and has a double in the 6th, 7th frame to build on. Approximately put him in the lead by 10 pins. Johanny left the 7 pin, a spare for Johanny and a strike for Jesper, and the game is all even. Lane 15-16, we have Marcus striking out for 259, and Magnus can strike out for 225, so Marcus goes on to step 2. In lane 17-18, we have Daniel, who now has a 7-bagger, open with the first 7. Possible perfect game. Glenn is now trailing by 60 pins. Jesper throwing on lane 19. Has a strike, works on a double, and gets it. That's now a 10-pin lead against Johanny. They go on lane 18. Daniel for his 8-bagger. There it is. The first 8 for Daniel from Sweden. And I think that game is going to be over pretty soon. Glenn can strike out for 246. So Daniel needs a spare and some pins, and the game will be closed. Let's see if Daniel can put down strike number 9. Daniel now throwing on lane 17. There was the 9th strike for Daniel, and now only needs to strike out in the 10th frame for a perfect game, 300. That will be the second 300 game this tournament. In lane 19-20, Johanny converted strike to a double. Just pick up the 7. Spare in the 9th frame. And Jesper really is under pressure. A strike out for 223. Juhani needs the first strike in the 10th frame and 9 pins to seal the deal. Juhani left the 9 pin. Bit high for Daniel and left the 9 pin. A spare and a strike for 279. Jesper has the possibility to decide the game for his benefit. 2 strikes needed. There's the first one. One more strike and 3 pins is what Jesper needs. Juhani can spare and strike out for 215. Glenn finishes the game at 200. And Daniel moves on to step 2 with a score of 277. Great game. Jesper now needs 3 pins to move on to step 2. Jesper finishes the game at 222, and Juhani can strike out for 215, so Jesper moves on to step 2. We're going to take a short break.
We have concluded the first step in the Masters, and the next step will be played with the winners moving 2 lanes right, getting their opponents according to seeding. We will have the matching ready very soon. We expect to begin on schedule 10:15.
It looks like a duck, it smells like a duck. It's probably a duck.
Men det var lite innan.
Franskmanden står her.
Jamen, de har ikke opløbsbane.
Jeg tror, at de er lidt i tvivl, om de rykker 2 sæt eller 2 baner.
Ja, Lars är match alltså.
Ja, Frederik sagde 2 sæt.
Är det Larsen alltså?
Det er storebror og lillebror.
Pappa och son är det ju.
Og var det pappa og søn?
Ja.
Okay.
Ja, är det vad jag ska säga?
Nej, faktisk ikke, for der hersker lidt tvivl om det er. Hvem er laveste seedet tilbage? Det er...
Det är franskmän.
Jo, det må være franskmand. Du skal spille på 11-12.
Vad är dina?
Papperna står det finns ju 2 ben. Papperna säger 4. Papperna säger 4.
Så er han nok ikke tabt. Er det 2 sæt eller 2 baner? Nej.
Uanset hvad, så spiller vi på linje.
Ja.
Butik er ikke så svært.
Nej,
Det er bare det hele gang.
9 det kan godt deles på 3.
Det er jo klart, men hvis det ikke er Frederik også. Det er jo fordi franskmand starter
Vi må også her, det er sådan.
Jesper, han skal enten spille på 5, 6 eller 7, 8.
her eller der. Till där får det lugnt med ditt huvud. Hela baken med henne var väst. Det är inte sånt där. Ska inte ursla det på byxorna. Det är dyrt.
Jag trodde jag brukade vara det i hatten, men säger lite.
Här står det ju något helt annat. Nej, 11-12. Jag står ju 2 bollar. Det måste ju vara så. Men det är kanske inte första gången, men frågar du han så är det nog första gången. Det var bra bollbyte.
Och så svänger det 17. Svänger mitt i varje gång.
Det här kommer till lite speciellt.
Han var snäll, va? Han var snäll, Martin.
Han ledde med 12 efter en ruta. Han fick med 2.
Som var mitt i spelet.
Nej. Alltså bara borde ha några gånger som man faktiskt inte siktade på spärra.
Om han hade en 10 han hade träffat han.
Ja, han hade ett par gånger som han försökte spärra, men det var ju ungefär lika långt ifrån så han hade inte försökt.
Det såg man inte säga. Det var
Vous êtes là-bas, Claude?
Et tu lui envoies une maison et tu l'écrases. On reste soi-même et on va chercher. Tu l'écrases.
You're a little lost. I'll talk to the people. Want to help me out? What position were you? France is going to be the end pair. Just give me one ball and next one. It's got to be the 5 and 6. Jag och min son här. Got it. Det är jävligt märkligt att de inte kör de här matcherna på fresh. De som kommer in här, de har inte så bra.
We can split up.
Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome to this second step in the Masters event in the European Men Championships 2015. Please remember, as the first players today, do not play match play, and please do not play whole frames. No whole frames. Keep on bowling, thank you. After 5 minutes, we will ask the highest ranked whether they want to play left or right. We will start with 10 minutes practice. Please stop practicing. Be ready in a short moment. Remember, we will have the medal ceremonies for the team event first, then the all event. At a moment after this step is concluded. First team event, then all event. Here do not play match play, no hold frames. Thank you, gentlemen.
Welcome back, Europe. We are now ready for
We're ready to begin.
step
Thank
2.
you.
And we have channel 1, which is lane 5 through 12, and channel 2, which is lanes 13 through 20. Lane 5 and 6, we have Chris Sloan from Ireland competing against Daniel Fransson from Sweden. On lane 7 and 8, we have Marco Bade from Germany and Jesper Agerbo from Denmark. On lane 9 and 10, we have Oscar Palermo, who's competing against Robert Andersson from Sweden. On lane 11 and 12, we have Mick Stampe from Denmark playing against Kimmo Littonen from Finland. On lane 13-14, we have Christoph playing against Frederik Ørgaard from Denmark. On lane 15-16, we have Martin Larsson playing against Thomas Larsen from Denmark. On lane 17-18, we have Thor Thorsen from Norway playing against Tobias Berding from Germany. On lane 19 and 20, we have Leon Devlin from England playing against Marcus Jansson from Sweden. And so the games will be just as exciting as step 1. Try to keep you as posted as possible, telling you where the action is, who's making big scores, who's trailing and by how much. So let's just hope we're going to see some big scores again. On lane 17-18, we have Thor Thorsen from Norway playing Tobias Berding from Germany. Both players started out real strong with a triple. Martin Larsen from Sweden started out with a triple. Also on lane 11 and 12, we have Mick Stampe, Denmark, and Kimmo Littonen from Finland. Also, both players started with a triple. They have gotten off to a pretty strong start. Lane 7 and 8, we have Jesper Agerbo, started with a double and a 9 spare. Marco Bade from Germany, started with a spare and a double, working on a triple. On lane 11-12, Mick converted another strike to a 4-bagger. Kimon picked 5 split and 3. So at the moment, Mick is in the lead by approximately 30 pins. Martin Larsen from Sweden really put the pressure on Thomas Larsen from Denmark. Opening with a 4-bagger, Thomas has strike, 2 spares, and a strike in the 4th frame. In lane 17-18, we have Thor Thorsen, triple, 8 split and a spare, and a double. And Tobias Birding opened with a 4-bagger, 9 spare, and a strike. 1920, Leon Devlin against Marcus Jansson. Both players are almost equal through 5 frames. Marcus is in the lead by 4 pins. Both have a strike in the 6th frame. Back to Nick Stambe. Is building on 4-bagger. Solid 10-pin. Thomas making a strike in the 5th frame, getting him a double. Martin Larsen. A solid 10-pin. And a spare. So Martin through 4 frames. He's in the front 25. Back on lane 7 and 8. Marco Bade from Germany against Jesper Agerbo. Marco got 8 split 1 in the 6th frame. Jesper has a strike. So approximately Jesper is 10 pins in the lead. He can successfully make another strike. He'll be 20 in the lead. 7 for Jesper. Not much happening on lane 5 and 6. Chris Sloan struggling a bit after double opening. There's now 2 open frames. And Daniel Fransson has 2 spares, a strike, a spare, and a strike. On lane 7-8 has a 12-pin lead. Robert Andersson from Sweden started with a 4-bagger, a spare, and a strike. Now a 9. Osko was struggling a bit. Had 2 open frames, but now has a triple. 5 through 7. Kimo came back from his 5 split. Now made triple. Nick working on a strike in the 6th frame. Like Ergon looking pretty solid against Christophe from France. Christophe has a double and 2 open frames. Like has 2 doubles, approximately 30 pins in the lead. Thomas Larsen, Denmark, playing against Martin Larsen, Sweden. Martin Larsen from Sweden really has the pressure on Thomas. Opened with a 4-bagger, 9 spare, and now a double. Thomas has a double. So Thomas is trailing by 35 approximately. We have the first game coming to an end. Tobias Birding striking out for 258. And Thor Thorsen spare and a strike for 224. So Tobias Birding from Germany get in the lead 1-0. On lane 19 and 20, Marcus Jansson needs a spare to get the game in roll-off. 2-11 for both players. So the roll-off, 1 shot each. I'm just going to stay here at lane 19-20. It's on channel 2. 1 shot roll off to decide who takes the first game. Leon Devlin from England gets an 8. Marcus needs 9 strike. Marcus makes the strike. Will take the lead 1-0. Looks like Martin Larsen is going to take the first game against Thomas Larsen. Claire Gargor is going to needs 4 pins to take the first game. Really some action on lane 11 and 12. Kimo can strike out for 261. Nick Stampe made a 9. First shot in the 10th frame. A spare and a strike will give him 258. For Kimo will need a strike and 8 pins to take the first game. Solid 10 pin for Kimo, and now Nick just has to make the spare and 3 pins. Anderson needs 1 pin to take the first game against Osku. Flown from Ireland, took the first game against Daniel Fransson, 197 against 170. Jesper Agerbo got the first game against Marco Bade, 218 against 212. Martin Larsen did take the first game against Thomas Larsen, 244 against 191. I just wait for the games to get started again. I can tell you that the medal ceremony for the team event and the all event will be broadcasted on Channel 1. And all of the broadcasts today will be in high definition. In the bottom of the screen you can choose the settings and be able to choose 720 pixels for high definition. Step 2 and the quarterfinals will be shown on Channel 1 and Channel 2. We have lanes 5 through 12 on Channel 1 and 13 through 20 on Channel 2. The semifinals and the final will be broadcasted on Channel 1. Marcus Jansson playing on lane 1920 against Leon Devlin from England. Leon has 2 opens, has a double in frame 2 and 3, now building on a triple, 5 through 7. Marcus opened with a spare, strike, spare, double, spare and strike, and 9. So Marcus is currently in the lead through 6 frames, approximately 5 pins. Depending on what Leon does in the 8th frame. An 8 split, so Marcus will be in front with 7 pins. Turning to lanes 17 and 18. Tore Thorsen from Norway started with a double and an open, a spare, double and a spare. And Tobias Berding from Germany started with a spare, strike, open, strike, spare, strike, spare. So after 6 frames, Tore Thorsen from Norway is in front with 17 pins. On lane 5 and 6, we have Chris Sloan against Daniel Panton. Chris has really put some pressure on Daniel, opening the strike, spare and double. Daniel is opened with 2 opens, a strike in the 2nd frame, and now a double in 4 and 5. 7 and 8, Marco Barber, Germany, against Jesper Agerbo, Denmark. Marco open spare, open, and now four-bagger. And Jesper open with strike, 2 spares, strike, spare, and strike. So Marco is in the lead. Approximately 15 pins, depending on his shot in the 7th frame. Marco makes his 5-bagger and is in the lead by 16 points after 5 frames. Palermo from Finland is open strong in the second game, spare and triple. Playing against Robert Andersson from Sweden, open 3 spares and a strike. Next number, Nick is open with spare, double and spare. Kimmo is open strike, spare, strike and spare. So through 3 pins, Nick is in front with 9 pins. Playing 13-14. Christophe from France against Aalborg, Denmark. Christophe open with a spare, a strike, a spare. Now got 7-10 split. Fredrik open with a spare and 7 split 2. And now has a double, 3 and 4. Martin Larsson, Thomas Larsson, 15 and 16. Martin, Sweden, open with spare, double, and 9 spare. Thomas Larsen, Denmark, open with 2 spares and double. So pretty even. Lane 17-18. Tore Thorsen dragging out for 232 against Tobias Börring 170. So they are 1-all. We have the first game that is finished. Leon Devlin is defeated by Marcus Jansson from Sweden. 2 games to nothing. Looks like the action is on lane 15-16. Martin Larsen, Sweden. Thomas Larsen, Denmark. Thomas Larsen converted a strike to four-bagger. Martin Larsen double, fifth and sixth frame. At the moment, Thomas Larsen is in front with 10 pins. Both players has a strike at sixth frame to Hillary. Also on lane 11 and 12, we have Mick Stamberg, Denmark, and Kimmo from Finland. Mick has two doubles, and Kimmo has converted a double. So both players have strikes in fifth and sixth frame. Mick is in the lead with 9 pins. Another solid shot from Kimmo, making his triple. On lane 7 and 8, the game is getting to an end. We have Marco Bade from Germany. He made a 231 against Jesper Erebos 166. That game is 1-all. Mick also got a strike in the 7th frame and also made his triple. So it looks like it's lane 11, 12, and 15 and 16 where all the action is right now. Thomas Larsen, Denmark, making a 5-bagger. Martin Larsen, Sweden, is a 4-bagger. Kimmo didn't convert his 8th frame to a strike, so it comes to a hold at the 8th frame. Thomas making his 6-bagger. Really putting the pressure on. It's a real high game from both players. Martin Larsen striking out for 269. Thomas Larsen, Denmark, striking out for 279. Back to 11 and 12. It's Mick Stamberg on 11. Getting another strike. 4-bagger now. Currently in the lead by 20 points. A strike in the 9th frame would probably be enough. Back on 15-16. Martin Larsen didn't get his 5-bagger. Left the 3-pin. Thomas Larsen now to shoot on lane 15. Also on lane 17-18, Tore Thorsen from Norway opened with the first 6. Thomas leaves the 7th pin. Thomas is in the lead by 10 pins. Thomas will need 2 strikes and 1 pin in the 10th frame to seal the deal. Next, Stumberg keeps producing strikes, now has a 5-bagger through 9 frames. Kimo striking out for 239. So Mick will need spare in the 10th frame. And the game will then be over. Now on lane 18, Tor building on 6-bagger. There was 7-bagger actually. So now he has the first 8. That's Tor Thorsen from Norway. On lane 17-18, started with the first 8. Martin Larsen making a strike in the first frame of the 10th frame, putting the pressure on Thomas. Thomas needs a strike, 2 strikes and 1 pin in the 10th frame. Martin Larsen, Sweden, striking out for 248. Thomas Larsen, Denmark, striking out for 258. That was the strike for Thomas. Tor makes his 9th strike on lane 17. Only needs 3 strikes in the 10th frame to make a perfect game. To win the match 2-1. Nick Stumber made a 7 spare and needs 4 pins. Kimo striking out for 239, 4 pins, and Mick Stumber has 240. On lane 16. Tor leaves a 7 pin, first shot of the 10th frame. Solid 10 pin for Thomas. A spare. And Martin makes a strike. We have a roll off. Fredrik also looks to go through to the quarterfinals. Tor finishes at 278 and will go through to the semifinals. Kimo did strike out for 239. Mick made a 9 for 245. So Mick Stumber is through to the quarterfinals. Thomas Larsen, Denmark, lane 16, needs a spare for the roll-off. There it is. So we have a roll-off between Thomas Larsen, Denmark, and Martin Larsen, Sweden. Martin Larsen leads 1-0. Frederik Ørgaard on lane 13-14 needs 13 pins to seal the deal. Frederik made a strike in the first shot of the 10th frame and now needs 3 pins, 2 shots for 3 pins. So I can guess that Frederik is through to the quarterfinals. Frederik made 8-1, so Frederik is through to the quarterfinals. Tell hello. Thomas Larsen and Martin Larsen in the roll-off on lane 15-16. Thomas Larsen, Denmark, shoot. Makes a strike. Now the pressure is on Martin Larsen. Needs a strike to keep the roll-off going. Otherwise, the game will be tied. 1-all. Can't actually see what's happening on lane 7 and 8 with Jesper Agerbo and Marco Bardet, but staying here at 15-16. A solid 10 pin. So Thomas Larsen gets the game, and they are tied 1-all. And moving on to line 7-8, we have Marco Bardet from Germany against Jesper Agerbo. The game is tied 1-all. Jesper is currently in the lead by approximately 30 pins. On lane 9 and 10, we have Oscar Palermo from Finland against Robert Andersson from Sweden. Robert has an open, a strike, and an open, and then a double, and Oscar started with the first 5. So the pressure is really on Robert now. Oscar is in the lead by approximately 40 pins. Marco left the 4, 6, 7, 10 in the 8th frame. Jesper. Really nice try by Marco, getting the 6, 7, 10. Jesper has 3, 6, 8, 10. Jesper is in the lead by 30 pins through 8 frames. Needs a strike and a spare to go through to the quarterfinals. Marco can strike out for 183. Jesper can strike out for 213. Marco left the 4 pin, so Jesper needs a strike and 6 pins. Jesper leaves the 2, 5, 8. Spare and 6 pins. Enough. Robert made an open in the 6th frame. Spare in 8. Osku continued striking in the 6th frame and spare in the 7th, and is currently in the lead after 6 frames with 75 points. So that game is more or less over. To lane 7 and 8. That seals the deal for Jesper Agerbo. Marco leaves the 4 pin, so can make a spare and a strike for 162. Jesper already has 163. Makes a 5, 168. So Jesper is through to the semifinals, quarterfinals. We're going back to lane 15, 16. Where we have Martin Larsen, Sweden, and Thomas Larsen, Denmark. Martin made a strike and a spare, and Thomas has a strike and an open, 7 split 1. Both players made a spare in the third frame. Thomas is trailing by 13 pins through 2 frames. It's on lane 15-16 on channel 2, the last remaining game. Osco also got through to the quarterfinals. Thomas makes strike, solid strike. Thomas needs to make another strike to close the gap to Martin. And a double would certainly also put the pressure back on Martin. Then the game will be within two pins. What a nice shot. Great shot. So we have the last remaining game in this step 2, lane 15-16 on channel 2. After we finish this game, there will be a medal ceremony for the team event and the all event that will be broadcasted on channel 1. Another strike for Thomas would really put the pressure on. A strike would make them even through 4 frames. But Martin only has a spare in the 5th frame. And Thomas would then be in the lead by 10 pins. So crucial shot for Thomas right now. Nice shot, nice balance. Now the pressure is really on Martin Larsson. Needs a strike to keep up with Thomas. He copes with the pressure and converts a strike. Thomas is now currently in the lead by approximately 10 pins. So for your benefit, all the broadcasts of today will be in high definition. You can, at the bottom of the screen, select the settings and choose 720 pixels. It'll be showing on high definition on channel 1 and 2 through the quarterfinals, and channel 1 is broadcasting the semifinal and the final. Really great game we have on 15-16. Martin converting a strike as a double. And possible regain of the lead. Now Thomas can really put some pressure on Martin if he gets a strike. If both players convert the spare, they are all even through 7. It's a tough shot for Martin. Needs to hit the 3-pin on the outer right side. Push it into the 4 and 7. Yes, he does. What a great shot. That is mentally strong. Needs the spare and does it. Thomas makes his spare. He does. They are all even through 7 frames. What a great game. Remember, the previous game was decided in a roll-off. Could be happening again. Both players striking out for 223. Martin from Sweden now with a slight advantage. Two strikes in the 10th frame and one pin will seal the deal for Martin. If Martin makes the first strike in 10th frame, Thomas needs a double and minimum the same amount of pins as Martin. If Martin converts two strikes in the 10th frame, the game's over. Martin converts his first shot in the 10th frame to a strike and only needs another. And we have Thomas Larsen on 15. Needs to strike out. A spare from Martin, and Thomas needs to strike out. The game will be tied and will be decided in a roll-off. Thomas leaves the 10 pin and Martin is through to the quarterfinals.
This concluded the second step of the Masters event, and we are continuing straight with the medal ceremony for the team event. So please, the 4 teams, meaning 6 players, coach and manager, 8 people all included from the 4 teams, at lane 29-30 area, the lineup for the Martin for the opening ceremony.
Det blev en Larsen.
Ja, det var ju en match som inte duga.
Ja, det var spännande.
Ja, det var... Pappa vann den här gången.
Ja, vi har ju prøvet på gamle.
Ja, det är så det ska vara så när två från bästa Europa möts.
Good seven spil.
That was pretty decent. Let's start counting. 2-0. Go for it. Smack!
Gratulerar.
Tack!
Jag har slagit svensk döda. Han har aldrig förlorat mot en svensk så länge. Jag har hållit på med det här.
Nu är det...
Så jävla